Hey everyone, today we are going to be making this really pretty offset bangle, and I'm going to show you how to finish it off in 3 different ways. And I'm also going to squeeze a little bit of a channel update in here too. We're going to start off making the plain bangle since that's going to be the building block for all of our other bangles. For this we're going to need some 14 gauge wire, a pair of needle nose pliers, a wire cutter, an oval shaped bracelet mandrel, a bench block and a chasing hammer, some needle files, a rawhide or rubber mallet, and a ruler. I'm going to start by cutting off an 8-inch section of our copper wire. Now I'm going to take my bench block and my rawhide mallet and I'm going to pound it out as straight as I can get it. And once it is relatively straight, I'm going to go in with my chasing hammer and I'm going to flatten out one end of the wire. I'm going to take my needle file and I'm going to remove any burrs if there are some left on the flattened end, and I'm going to round out the corners a little bit to make it more comfortable to wear. Now I'm going to repeat that with the other end of the wire by flattening it out and smoothing it out with my needle files. Next I'm going to grab my oval bracelet mandrel and I'm going to start wrapping my wire around it. I'm going to place my opening on the long side of the mandrel so that that will be the top of our bracelet. Then I'm going to move the bracelet up my mandrel to make it a little smaller and have the ends in this offset pattern. I'm going to go in again with my rawhide mallet and really form it to the bracelet mandrel. After I take it off the mandrel, I can look at it from the side to see if it needs a little shaping or final touches. In order to wear the bracelet, I'm going to pull the ends apart and I'm going to slide my wrist in there sideways. Then you can position the opening on the top of your wrist and pull them back together to close the bangle up. You can also gently squeeze the sides of the bangles to make it fit your wrist a little better. Now the bangle is ready to wear. And if you fit it to your wrist properly, the opening will always stay at the top of your wrist because of the oval shape. Next, I'm going to show you how to finish off the bangle with these little rondelle beads. Some extra things you'll need to make this one are some 26 gauge wire, a couple of 8mm rondelles, and some seed beads. I'm going to cut off a 4-inch section of my 26 gauge wire and I'm going to fold it in half. Now I'm going to pick up one of my seed beads and put it on the wire. Now I'm going to get one of my rondelles and I'm going to feed both ends of wire through it. So our little seed bead is going to stop the wire from going all the way through. Now I'm going to open up my ends of wire and start wrapping them around the end of the bangle right next to our flattened section. Make sure to wrap it nice and tight so that it will stay in place. I'm going to go in with my needle nose pliers to make sure it's really on there well. Then I'm going to repeat this with the other end of the bangle. And now this one is ready to wear as well. And the last way I'm going to show you is to add some bezel-set gems to the ends. For this one you will need some soldering skills and a lot of tools. So I'm just going to give a general overview of what I'm doing and take a moment to talk about where this channel is headed. I'm going to start off by taking my 16 gauge wire that I've flattened the ends of. I'm not going to form it around the bracelet mandrel just yet. And I'm going to take my round needle file and I'm going to carve a little convex shape into the edge so that our oval bezel shape will fit in there nice and snugly. I'm not going to go into detail on how to make the bezel since there are a lot of good tutorials out there already. And while I shape and solder the bezel, I'm going to talk a little bit about this channel, where it's going, where it's been, and the types of jewelry that I feature here. I have been doing both wire and beaded jewelry for a long time. I started beading when I was about 8 and I started doing wire jewelry in my teens. So I really enjoy doing both of them, and I feature both types of jewelry on my website. But when I started off this channel, I didn't have the tools to do wire jewelry at the time. And so my first few video tutorials were all seed bead related. So naturally, when I started adding some wire jewelry tutorials, they performed absolutely abysmally. I've just come back from a little break from social media, and during that time I've done quite a bit of thinking about it, and it just doesn't seem that it's worthwhile to do the wire tutorials anymore. If I'm wrong about this and you do get something out of the wire tutorials, let me know. But otherwise, I have one more wire tutorial that's already filmed, and after I put that one out, I probably won't be filming anymore. Now, I'm absolutely not going to stop making wire jewelry because I really enjoy doing it, and I'm going to continue to offer those wire pieces on my website. But it does mean that my bead tutorials might become a little more sporadic, since I'm still doing both types of jewelry, but only doing video tutorials for one of them. And this is a little bit of a sad decision for me because I do really like doing the wire jewelry tutorials, but there's no point if they're not going to be watched. So back to this last bangle, I'm going to take my bezel and I'm going to solder it to my 16 gauge wire. I then pop my gem back in the bezel to make sure that it still fits before I shape the bangle around my mandrel and put it in the pickling pot. After all the oxidation from soldering has been eaten away, I pop my gems back in and go in with my bezel pusher to set the gems. And then when I'm happy with the fit and look of the bezel, I'm going to go in with my radial discs to do a little pre-polishing. And then I finish it off with a felted bit and some white Dialux. And once I clean off the Dialux with some warm soapy water and pat it dry, it is ready to wear. So those are my 3 offset bangles, and I think the one with the bezel set gems is my favorite, but I might be a little biased. I am keeping this one for myself, but I did like it so much that I made some versions in sterling silver that will be available on my website. I will leave a link in the description. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial and would like to see more like it, please be sure to give me a crumb of a like, a morsel of subscribe, or a tasty tidbit of a comment. And if you really want to support this channel, you can go to my website, Xerelia.com, where I list all the jewelry that is featured in these videos. There are also some bead patterns and bead kits on there too, so check it out. Okay, bye!